Welcome! My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord, and I decided to make a bee journal. I've wanted to make a bee journal for a while. I did make one a couple of years ago, but I wanted to make one again, you know, with my modern tools and skills and digitals and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be a design team project for the Junk Journal Studio. And I was working with the Summer's Bounty collection in a previous video, and I made some journal cards, embossed journal cards and tags, which were beautiful, and that was using some of the brighter colors in the kit. And when I was looking through the kit again, I saw quite a few things to do with bees, so I thought, I'm going to make a little bee journal. So I decided to make like a half-size journal, I guess is what you call it. So I printed 2 journal pages per page, so it will be like this and then folded in half like this to make the pages. So I found 4 journal pages, these 4 that were in the Summer's Bounty, and then I backed them with a couple of the other pages in the coordinating pages of the Summer's Bounty kit. That look really good there. So those are kind of the feature pages, and I may print out this again for the cover. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the cover quite yet. And then in the ephemera, I found this pocket with some stamps and different little bits of ephemera with bees on it. So I thought that was really cute. And this one also, so it's got a big recipe for honey cake and sunflowers with a couple of bees in it. There's a postcard, tickets, little bits and pieces. And then this one, so some more bits and pieces, 2 large tags, some circles, a couple of labels, some more circles. So lots of really interesting ephemera. And then in the coordinating pages, I also found these 2. So I thought I would use those. Love these yellows, just beautiful. Not so bright they're in your face, but they're bright and cheery at the same time. I'm not sure how she picks her colors, but she really gets them right. And then I backed these with a couple of pages in the Essentials Volume 1 kit. So there's a yellow ledger and I guess an aged graph paper with the yellow tones, golden tones there as well. So I thought that would go really well. So I can cut those in half and then fold them to make pages, or I could use this in the cover as well. And then I also have from, this was from the Essentials Volume 2 rather, Bringing in the Sheaves music. So I backed that with a tea stain paper in one of the Essentials kits as well. So I might use this, I could use this in the center of a signature like that. Or I'm not sure exactly, I might just fold it up and put it in a pocket, I'm not sure yet. And this piece of ephemera, which was in the Essentials Volume 1, and I'll probably print some more as we go. This one is backed with the same tea stain paper. But I just picked those out for now. And this was a part of the Summer's Bounty kit, but this is actually a freebie in her coffee shop. So I'll link all the kits below, and I'll also link where you can pick this up. So this is part of the Summer's Bounty, but it's a really nice collage. So I may even end up printing this again. This would be a great cover as well. So I may use that for that. And this was just a couple of other things I just had in my stash when I was going through. This is kind of a little piece of paper that I cut through. I might just, use it for a collage or something. It's got the honeycomb there. And then I also found this, which was a part of a book. I actually got this in Happy Mail. I'm not sure what the book was, but there's some bee images here. So I thought that might be fun to add as well. And then I have a set of bee stamps from Stampin' Up! A few years ago. Some cute little bees and a beehive and a honey pot and just buzzing by to say and have a honey of a day, and then another bee here. So I might incorporate some of those. And then I cut out already a pile of ephemera, or yeah, I guess little bits of ephemera like tickets. Some of this is from the Essentials and lots of it is from the Summer's Bounty. So there's, you know, labels and tags and lots of different just little pieces. I printed out some of the labels that kind of coordinated, some little bitty pieces. There's a B is for the bees. And then all kinds of just little tickets. I just picked the ones that kind of coordinated with these colors. And here's some labels. I think this was a freebie as well. Yeah, I think this was a freebie with the entomology kit, if I'm not mistaken. And a couple of these were from the entomology too. I'm kind of losing track. Either these ones or these ones were part of the entomology freebie as well. So if you want to look there on coffee, you can see what she's got there. And this was from the Summer's Bounty. There's a bee on this one and a couple bright flowers. Some more labels. Just labels, tickets, all kinds of bits and pieces. Really nice. And some sentiments, some little phrases, pictures, just words, numbers, and some fussy cut bees. So lots and lots of little bits and pieces to use. And I still have a bunch of pieces left from when I was making the journal cards, so I might go back and cut some of that out as well. And then I also have, I found a little bee charm in my stash, so I thought I might use that. And then I have a couple of different sizes of these envelopes that will kind of coordinate with the colors. I might use this for the cover, I'm not sure. It's a little bit large, so I'll see if I want to use that or something else. And then I've got several of these and these in coin envelopes in 2 different sizes. So I just wanted to show you all my goodies here first. And I'm just going to get my signatures cut out. So I'll cut out all my papers and put together some signatures. I'm thinking probably 2 signatures. I'm not completely sure. But I'll get those cut out and I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the cover, and then I'll be back in a second and I'll show you what I found. Okay, so I got a couple of signatures figured out, and I've put 7 pages in each signature. So I put the beautiful journal pages on the front of each of the signatures. So I'll just show you quickly what I did for signatures. So that was that page. This was the page just from the gardening book or whatever it was. This is just a piece of yellow paper that I had coffee dyed. This is a page from the coordinating kit. Another one of the journal pages and coordinating kit on the back. And this is just a piece of coffee dyed paper, and I stuck in one of the pieces of ephemera for the center of that signature. And then this one, I did the other journal page. This is the yellow ledger and backed with this. And this one I cut longer because I wanted the ledger going this way, not this way. So I have these folded over. So I'm going to fold them over either for a tuck or a flip. I'm not sure exactly yet, so I haven't glued it down yet, but I folded those in. This was just a piece of paper I had from a Happy Mail, I think, and one of the journal pages again, my coffee dyed yellow paper, and here's bringing in the sheaves in the center. So those are my signatures so far, and I made a cover. And what I did with the cover is I took the it was roughly 9 by 6 envelope, and I cut it down a bit. I wanted it, I didn't want it super wide. The height was okay. So I cut it down, and I cut 2 sections that were 4 inches. So this signature measures 3 3/4 inches. So I wanted this to be just a little bit, so 1/4 inch longer, wider this way. So I did 2 of those, and then I glued the edge shut again because I don't want to have a pocket on the outside of this. And then I made a different, a separate piece for a spine. And this was 2 3/4 inches wide, so 1 inch on each side plus the 3/4 inch spine. And I'm just going to stick that into the pockets here where the journal was. Like that. And I'll glue this in a minute. And then I'll have my spine there. So then I just have a little bit more strength on my spine and just a little bit different way of doing that. So I'll glue that in. And then what I did was I made a template for my sewing in my signatures. So I cut a piece that was the height of this book, which was 5 3/4 inches, and 3/4 inch wide. And then I made a score 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So I have 2 perfectly spaced signature places. And then I scored those, and then I put little dots 1 inch from the bottom, 1 inch from the top, and perfectly in the center. So then what I could do is I could just put this on top here, poke all the holes, and I've got perfectly spaced holes there. And I'll show you in a second how I do it for the signatures. But I think first of all, oh, and then I guess I folded this the opposite way. Put them in this way. I could refold the cardstock, but. And then I lined the inside of these with 2 pages. Let's make sure I got everything right side up. I lined this with 2 pages, or a paper that was in the Summer's Bounty kit with some leaves. And I left a space at the bottom because I'm going to do some pockets at the bottom here. So I may do something like this at the bottom. I'm not sure yet exactly, but. So I'm just gonna probably put you on fast forward here and glue these 2 spines into the envelope. So now I'm just going to, I just use an old phone book to work with my signatures. So I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to put my template here. I could clip it on. I think I'll just hold it on because it's not that tricky, I don't think. And then I'm going to get my pokey tool, my awl here. And I'm just going to poke everywhere there's one of those dots. So I'll have 6 dots, 6 holes, just like that. So I've got my 6 holes, and they all go through to the back. So that works well for that. And then what I want to do is make holes in my signature. So what I do for that is I just fold on one of those score lines. So those score lines are handy for marking, and they're also handy for scoring, and then I'll show you how I do that. So open up to my center here. This one I have a shorter piece of ephemera, so I could put it at in the middle, but then it would miss 2 of the holes probably, or pretty close to 2 of the holes. So I probably want it either at the bottom or the top. I think I'm going to put it near the top because often we have a little bit more stuff at the bottom of our journal, so I'll add that at the top. And then I'll just kind of center this in between. There's a little bit hanging off this end, a little bit hanging off this end, because my pages are a little bit shorter than the cover. And then I'll tuck that crease right into the crease that's in my signature. And then I see where my holes are. So I'm just going to turn this over because then I see my dots as well. and then I'll just poke my holes. All right, like that. And I've got my holes. I don't know if you can see that, but they've come right through. So there's one of my signatures done. I'll do the same thing with the other signature. And this one, all of the pages are the same height, so that part doesn't matter. And I'll just center this again. Doesn't have to be perfect, but... And I put the crease of the scoring guide, or the spine punching guide, I guess, into the center, the crease into the center of the crease of the signature. So there's, see how the creases are nestled like that? And then I poke it into the crease in my phone book, and everything just lines up perfectly. And then I've got my holes there as well. So, put my phone book away. I don't need this anymore. I can use that for another journal or get rid of it. So I'm going to sew my signatures in, and you've probably seen this 100 times, but maybe I will just keep the camera on, but fast forward it a little bit. So I've just got some wax thread here, and I do 2.5 times the height of the book for the thread length. There, so I got my 2 signatures sewn in there. I've got the knots on the outside of the book, and everything appears to be right side up. That's always a good sign. So I'm just going to start to decorate. I'm not going to film this part, but I'm just going to put all of this. I have this big, huge stack of ephemera and envelopes and different bits and pieces. I'm probably not going to get it all in here, but I'm going to play with that for a while, and I'll be back in a second and show you a flip through. So here's a flip through of the journal. I have it tied with a little piece of twill tape. Here's my bee charm. I put one of the images from the kit on the cover, and this is from the kit as well. Here's the back. And over top of the spine here I have this book cloth tape, and this particular one is brown, and it's 2 inches wide, and it's very, very sticky. And I think it really just finishes off a journal very nice, and it gives a lot of stability to the spine as well. So I use that on several of my books. So we'll just kind of give a little flip through here. So here's the first page. There's just a pocket there with one of the tags, and a little pocket here with just little bits and pieces of the ephemera. Here's our first journal page with one of the labels. I made a little pocket, just tore one of this piece was too big for the page, so I tore it down and just put a little journal card. I just made this with some cardstock I had and put a little heart at the top. And on this side, this was one of the pages from the gardening book or whatever it was, and I just adorned that with a couple of pieces from the kit. A label. This was, I just turned this whole page into a big pocket, put one of those journaling cards in there again, and just a little collage there. Just a little collage there again. This has, I made several of these tags just with a simple little collage with some of the kit elements on these tags. So I have that in this pocket, and that holds this little envelope thing closed. And this envelope opens like this, and then you have a big long journaling spot. So that just folds up like that, and this gets tucked in to keep that closed. And then here I just made a little collage with, this was one of the fussy cuts, I guess, in the Summer Bounty kit, and I had printed it off a couple of times before. So I just cut off little bits and pieces and made this viney thing on the side with a label. Here was 3 tickets, and I just put those diagonally across that page. And then here I have, I just found this poem. It's called The Busy Bee by Isaac Watts. And I've always loved this poem, so I have it actually in a couple of spots here, but I just found that printable online. And this I just made a little thing with the bees. I have the honeycomb here with the vine, I guess, and a couple of bees there. And then again, one of those tags, and I just have that poked into this little pocket here. And on this side, this is one of the large tags that's in the kit, and I just have it, I did a little bit of a honeycomb, it's actually chicken wire, but honeycomb stencil there. These tags were a little bit too large to really make a pocket for, so I just had a couple in here and I just paper clipped them in. Paper clip it up there actually. And then here was our little small piece of ephemera, so I put a bird there and just a little collage there, little tuck here with one of the pieces of ephemera and a butterfly. I really like how these two pieces went together. This was an element in the Summer's Bounty, and this is an element in the Basics kit. And I just really like how those two go together. And again, I have one of those little journaling tags poked in there. This was sunflowers from the kit. The hum of a bee is a voice in the garden. This is another little element. This ticket holds it closed. And if you kind of flip up the side of the ticket, this opens like this, and this opens like this. So then you have all of this journaling space or whatever you want to do with that. And then it just folds up like this and like this, and then underneath the ticket to hold it closed. Just like that. So that's kind of neat. I just used a little mushroom and a label. Here I just had a stamp on the side. Here, this journaling card I turned into a tuck for one of the little cards. I have just one of my blank pages, but I stenciled the honeycomb and stamped my honey pot there. And this was just a little torn tuck on the side there. Here's one of those journaling cards again. And this was an element in the kit. It's, I guess it's sort of an envelope pocket, but it kind of just petal pocket, I think I've seen them called. So it just kind of folds up and it all tucks together and holds something. So I just made a little specimen card here. I just used Tim Holtz die to make the specimen card and one of the labels and bees from the kit there. So, and I just stamped a bit of background stamping on the cardstock. So that just stays in there, and it just folds up just like this, and then it stays. You know how you put a box top together? That's the same way that you put that together. And this one I think I actually printed, I had it printed full size initially, and it was too big for here. So I printed half size, I think, for this, and printed it and made it for this pocket. And then I have another little pocket here with just some tags. So many really nice bee ephemera in this kit. Like, there's the Summer's Bounty includes like florals and butterflies and mushrooms and sunflowers and honeybees and like all of the ephemera that comes with each one. So you can buy the summer collection, Summer Bounty collection, and you can make like several different journals. I think Michelle was actually saying that, and I went over and looked too, that Gail Augustinelli was making 5 journals, 5 full journals with the Summer's Bounty kit. And she had themes, like she had a sunflower one, and she had a butterfly one, and a bee one, and whatever. So there's so much in this Summer Bounty collection. So I just used, you know, a very, very few pieces for the bee one here. So there's just another page here. I did a little bit of just inking in the background there. Again, the honeycomb. And here I did just a little vellum pocket because I didn't want to hide the pretty journal page there. So I'll put a tag in there, little label, another little pocket. I think, no, that's not a pocket. I finally decided enough pockets. This got a little bit chubby, which I like, but I didn't want it to be to the point where it wouldn't close. So I started making not quite as many tucks and pockets after a while. And here paper clipped is just that same Busy Bee poem here. So I just printed that from the internet and aged it a little bit. And then here I have this paper clip holding this closed, and this is just a kind of a tuck. You could put some more things in here or whatever you want to do with there, and just one of the big labels there. This I made into a belly band, and I tucked in, this is from the kit as well, a recipe for honey cake. So that is cute in there. And just a little be the best you can be. That was just a random piece of paper I had. Here's one of those journal cards again. I put a couple of elements from the kit on there and a few things on here. This I just made a little cluster and turned that into a tuck. I glued the pieces together and then just glued on these two sides. And then this was just I'd made these a while ago, and I made a bunch of just index cards. I rounded the corners and I put this little notch here and closed that up and just did a little collage on the front, and that's a nice little journaling spot. And there's just using those elements again. I like that page, how it turned out. And then here's an envelope with another one of these journaling cards, and this one is an actual envelope. So I made the envelope using my envelope punch board and a paper from the Summer's Bounty kit, and then this was just one of the little bits from the kit that I stuck in there. I decided not to. I was going to put a piece of Velcro or something, but it holds closed pretty well, so I just left it like that. And then here's another one of those large journaling cards that I clipped on here. And this one I just did, this is just one of the pieces from the Basics kit, and I just made a, I don't know, tuxedo pocket sort of thing, so I can put a journaling card there, and there's also a pocket there. So I guess I didn't put anything in there at this point. Still a few places to fill. Here's the other side, and here's the third, the Busy Bee poem. I printed it out three different times in just different styles and whatever. And then here's another one of the journaling little tags. And this is from one of the Faith Basics kits, bringing in the sheaves. So I just put that in for the center of that signature. And this was just a horizontal belly band that I made. And this was just a piece of paper that I printed on both sides. This was actually the Summer's Bounty collection, but it was a freebie, and still is a freebie on Michelle's Coffee, so if you want to look for that. And this was a freebie also, but this was in a different kit. This was in, I think, the Love kit. But I thought it's got kind of the gold undertones and the reds, so I thought it fit well with this kit as well. Don't be afraid to mix and match things, you know, when you have, especially when you use digitals like, you know, Michelle has Summer's Bounty, and then she has Fall Bounty, and, you know, all these other kits, and they can be used interchangeably. And so don't be afraid to bring in papers from here and there and mix it up a little bit. It gives a little bit of interest. So here's just one of the little tickets that I turned into a tag, and or pocket and a tag there, and one of the tickets, and a little collage up there. I used a few of these leaves. This was just a trim that I had. This was a couple stamps that I had. I have a honey of a day and a beehive there. Just buzzing by to say that was one of my stamps as well. And I just had a journaling card, and it was too big to put on one page, so I just folded it and made it into a tuck on both sides of the page. And this was just a little coin envelope that I had, and I put a postcard on there. And then this was just one of those cards as well that I put a big piece of bee ephemera on there. So just tuck that in there. And here's the other side of that pocket, and one of those journaling tags again. And this is just that piece of paper. Here's a couple journaling tags. This side I folded over and I made into a tuck, whereas the other side I just left folded out. This was just a stamp that I had. Another little tuck with a couple of pieces of the ephemera, all from the Summer's Bounty. Well, this might be actually from, oh, this is a little tiny journaling spot. I just had a little piece of that honeycomb paper left, so I coffee dyed it and put a little label on there and stuck that in there. And there's the back page, and then here's Summer's Bounty library cards. I just backed that onto some coffee dyed cardstock, and I put a label here this journal belongs to, and place for a name and little tabs. And so really, really fun to put this together. I just printed out a whole bunch of ephemera. I cut out a bunch of ephemera, mostly from the Summer's Bounty, but a few from the basics kits, and a few of the freebies here and there, and a couple of things I just had in my stash, and made a really, really cute little journal. So I hope you enjoyed that flip through, and if there's anything in here that you would like to see how I made it, just leave me a comment and I'd be happy to explain it to you, or do a video and show you how I made something. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Blessings.